Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wildcard Podcast. This is no ordinary podcast, though. This is the Final Four edition and Elite Eight recap podcast. G is joining me as always. G, this has been an incredible tournament. 60 have come, 4 remain. It's the Final Four, buddy. A lot has happened. Are you excited to recap the Elite Eight and get into these Final Four predictions? A lot of great storylines here for sure.
I mean, definitely. Saw a lot of great gameplay in the Elite Eight earlier in this round, and we have a lot of good people in the Final Four here to start the season off strong. So, a lot of great stories, a lot of good gameplay to be seen, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, before we get to the Final Four, Elite Eight recap, and all the goods, everything Uno MRE, we got a little something special with G. Cooked up something fun for March Madness. G, let the fans know at home what we got cooked up.
All right, so as we wrap up the first tournament for the MRE UNO season with our March Madness tournament, the real March Madness is getting underway, and we have decided to open up a bracket challenge on ESPN for using the ESPN groups and the ESPN bracket challenge rules. So you'll find in the description the link to join. You'll see the password, which is DrinkMRE. Make sure you join. Brackets will be closing tomorrow at noon, so don't got a lot of time to submit, but if you have not done so already, make sure you do that. Me and KT will both be playing, so you could try to see if you could beat us in the bracket challenge, but overall, a bit of a fun experience, bit of a fun game we're doing, and got a lot of players coming in to test their luck with the bracket challenge, as a lot of people do every year, so it's hopefully going to be a fun thing. Again, links in the description, password is DrinkMRE. You got probably, by the time this gets released, maybe a little bit under 14, 13 hours left to submit. So I would just get on that as soon as you can if you want to join. But now we will bring things back to the Elite 8 recap.
Let's get to that Elite recap. Thank you so much, G. All the links will be in the description below. Looking forward to seeing who plays. But let's get started with that Champion Road region. And that Champion Road region, well, everyone thought coming in, Charles Sanford, right? I had egg on my face. I thought Charles Sanford would rock this region and get it done, but he was playing from behind. A little controversial ending with the old power play rule and Turner not knowing it. But other than that, I hate to say it, G, but this may not be the most popular opinion aside. Turner's for real. He's shown that he's evolved his game to not only take care of Yepes and Sanford back to back, but he took care of Ard, where it was a composure thing. He could have easily lost to Pack if Pack just plays a couple cards correctly. He's had an incredible run to get to 4-0. I think Sanford can take away saying, hey, I had the cards in the previous round. This round was due for something not to happen. He did everything he could. The fact that he won 4 games with some of the hands he was sharing publicly after the stream and to many players, you have to almost chalk that up to say it's his first top 5 finish, as he did finish 5th, without making a finale as still one of the best here. But JT's got a chance of something rare to punch a ticket in the Super League by winning the whole thing with this run he's had. Most impressive run. He's being the average. I think his average seed, excluding Pack, was something like 2.7 if you exclude Pack. That's really good. I expect him to be very contentious here. A contender. I think he can be very content knowing that no matter what happens, he's proven that he's put everyone knows I'm here to play. And the evolution of JT Dry starting to fade. Talk to me about JT Sanford and what do you expect from JT coming forward and his big 5-4? Was a clutch window, to be fair, in 9.
I mean, honestly, again, you said a lot of people were expecting Sanford going into this match. I did think the run for Turner was going to end here, but he did prove a lot of us wrong. Was able to get the job done, which was super impressive on Turner's part. Congratulations to him. Closed it out in a close Game 9 series, but it was really interesting because we've seen so far this tournament, we've both seen Turner and seen a different Turner, and it's kind of caught some people off guard. We kind of remember back to the first round where he went to Game 7 with Mac Johnson, almost lost that one. But then since then, it's kind of been like an incline, really. So he's been just going up and up, and he just keeps going. He has 2 great wins to start the season already with Diego Yepes and Charles Sanford, so he's already in a phenomenal spot to start the season, even if he does not end up winning this whole thing. So I think it's been a great performance so far from JT, and this is his first Final Four. It was his 4th attempt in the Elite Eight, and he was able to finally get it done. So, yeah, first Final Four for Jesse Turner after being in every tournament last year. Big congratulations to him. Final Four is definitely an accomplishment. to make, and he has finally done that. A lot of people in this league try to get to their first Final Four, and Turner has waited long enough, and he will finally get a chance to play in it.
Yeah, JT, congratulations once again, buddy. Enjoy this moment. It's not easy to get here, G. It's not easy. It's not guaranteed. We talk about all these great players. Oh, they're coming back. Nothing's guaranteed anymore. This league is too stacked to just say, okay, well, I'm easily going to make another run. It's not easy. So congrats to JT. Now we move over to the Golden Road region. This one was about, this one was a let's face it, G, there was a lot of problems surrounding Eli off the table, right? We all knew that coming in, and I think it showed a little bit, but early in the series. But then Nam just after going down 2-1 ran it. The kid has electric pace. You look at his pace. Everyone's played into it. Every single player's played into it. No one has attempted to slow him down. He's one of these young puppies, as I like to call him, that knows what to do. He's just a kid off the block, but right now he's turning into one of the beasts on the streets. And he's a good kid. He's got a great mindset coming into these next couple, I think, series. I got a feeling. Yeah, he's going to be one of these guys, not just this tournament, but next tournament. You're going to have to contend. We know he's going to be a higher ceiling moving forward. But in this series against Eli, I think Eli was just playing into that pace. He tried to slow it down at points, but towards the end, the back end, when it was 3-2, 4-2, you can't give Nam any invitation to play quicker because that's what he did. He sped up Eli's clock, and he makes his first Final Four, the second one to do so. Thoughts on this one? And for Eli, though, to be fair, he did get that vet class, which was massive. And real quick, just one omission. JT, congratulations. First ever Masters class champion. That's league history right there. No one can take that away once you get the first. So congratulations to JT. And also to Eli getting the vets. But your thoughts on G, and thoughts a little bit on Eli and his performance to make the Elite Eight and get out and finish P7.
I got someone talking in the background, so I'm sorry if that gets picked up. But I mean, I think Dom just kind of took advantage of the situation, which I think ironically flipped the tables of I think what's been happening with Eli so far this tournament. So kind of just an unfortunate situation for Eli. I did say he needed to make at least the Elite Eight, and he did that, but unfortunately did not go a step further. I think he would have wanted to make the Final Four. He only has one so far. Would have liked to make his second, but Elite Eight spot's gonna have to do for this first tournament. But Nam, I mean, I think the region went wide open as soon as Gold got out, and Arya also was unable to partake in this tournament. So I think after that, that region became wide open, and I think Nam just took advantage of the cards given to him and was able to take advantage to get this early start for his season. Hasn't locked up the rookie class yet, though. We still got another rookie left in this Final Four, but we'll get to her in a little bit. But overall, good stuff to Nam. He's going to be going up against specific someone who kind of taught him the ropes, so that'll be an interesting matchup to watch out for.
Yeah, it will be an interesting matchup to watch out for. But congratulations, Nam. And one little thing about Eli, too. You got to think, Jay, after his terrible offseason, he even admitted it just wasn't the best. To come out here and get a P7, I had him winning the vet class right off the bat. I had him winning it for the whole season. I think it's looking good for him. You're going to stay up there in those nice upper seeds on the upper echelon. You can make a run. Now, this next one, G, this next game, this guy never seems to disappoint, right? He's always on the table, characters and all that, all this talk, and he gets it done against Brad 5-1. The sheriff, that's the thing, that's the joke going around right now. Got it done again, G. I mean, you were the proponent of that game. It seemed like I was just in control. 5-1. I'll let you take this recap here since it is me.
I mean, yeah, this game kind of went off to an interesting start, where it was kind of Brad won the first game,
Correct.
so threw KT on the ropes early on, but from that point on, it was just the KT show pretty much. KT wins 5 straight, so kind of a gentleman's sweep there. Again, Brad made it to this point. Great stuff to him, but unfortunately, I think some of the mistakes he was making really ended up catching up to him. And KT's one of those players who really can't make a lot of mistakes, and unfortunately, was not able to get away with it. Relatively quick series. Also, we don't typically see that out of KT. Usually, he's somewhere in the mid range, but only 25 minutes and a best of 9. That's pretty quick. So was able to take quick work. Goes on to face Nam in the Final Four. KT's looking good. He's the only one seed who has survived the chaos that has happened in this March tournament. So despite everything, he is making it back here to the Final Four. The only Super League player from last year to make the Final Four, which I know some people would have thought maybe a few more would have made it, but just kind of how the cookie crumbles there. But good stuff to KT. KT is still looking for his first final. After I believe technically three attempts.
Right.
With Final Four in tournament one, didn't get it there. Final Four in tournament five, didn't quite get it there either. And then I guess also the Final Four in Super League, which is a bit of an asterisk, but we still consider it. Kind of unfortunately lost there in an unfortunate choke. But looking for his first final, and kind of similar to Turner, it's his fourth. It's his fourth attempt technically, so maybe he can find some similar luck as Turner.
We'll see. We'll see, Jay. Obviously, a lot of those Final Fours in the past were league issues, right? The hands-on stream, really was playing poker at the end there against Clay, and potentially the redacted guy. The goal one was absolutely on me, and now here we are, right? Only guy to make it back to the Final Four in both March tournaments. We'll see how a cookie crumbles, like you said. And this last match that happened, this was the late game. I guess you could say it was pushed back due to Ashley's schedule. She took care of business. I have nothing but great things to say about Abiyan, man. Even though he lost this game, he showed to me that he can play a world champion and representing the world, right? Indonesia. And losing eight, right? Very convincingly won a couple games. Obviously some card luck, but he showed he could hang in there. I think the problem is it was similar to DJ, ironically, and a little bit of Brad. It just mental errors, right? Leaving the door open, trying to do some bait switches that just weren't timed right. I think it's just those little mistakes he has to clean up to get to the next level. For Ashley, nothing but great things to say. Right, I absolutely did a great job, in my opinion, with JT. If JT was the guy that had to get through the upper echelon of Stanfords, the Yepes of the world, Ashley had to get through the young prospects, right? The hot prospects of H, right? We talked about H. Oh, he's the man, right? He's the man to beat for the sophomore class. Sweep, captain, how to sweat that one out, right? We all talked about March Monkey, a big hot prospect in March, got it done. And then the world shoulders of Abiyan. Everyone thought Abiyan could really put a dent into her plan. Still too good. Still a world champ, off server. I think out of everyone that's played March G, I'm going to say, this is the best rookie. It's not even a hot take. This is no disrespect to Nam, but the way she's played the game and the way Nam's played, they're 1-2. I'm just going to give it to the world champ only because she has that label. We put her on the pedestal for a reason. Congratulations to her. And Abiyan, like I said, coming over here with a P6 to start the year, right? Beating out a lot of big guns. That's a great thing, especially considering a lot of people had him gone round one against Yoshi. And he also took care of business too against ALP in that classic 9. And Nick, he did a good job. Congrats to him. But your thoughts on Ashley G? Much better play. We all knew this was coming too, deep down in the podcast.
Honestly, yeah, I do have to agree. And I think you said it perfectly. I think Ashley is probably shown she's the best rookie so far this season. I know she says that feels like she doesn't need to be put on a pedestal and whatnot, and I do understand the sentiment there, but you made the Final Four in your first attempt. You're really putting on a show. A lot of people are picking you as a potential favorite to win the whole thing. So, in a way, it's kind of just something you earn really, and you can be very modest and humble about it, but in the end I think it's well deserved to be put on that pedestal, and we'll see how it goes. But I've liked what I've seen from Ashley this entire tournament. She was able to survive, in my opinion, the most difficult pod of the 16 to start out, and she has done nothing but prove she belongs in this Final Four. Going up against the league veteran in Turner, it will be an interesting matchup, one of the more unique matchups. I don't think a lot of people would have slated this as a potential possibility going into this tournament, but I think overall I'm really interested to see how that matchup goes, and I am very much looking forward to seeing who comes out on top of that one.
Yeah, it will be an interesting match. Ash versus JT, in my opinion, the two hardest roads to get here versus Nam and the boss. We'll find out how it goes. Well, we aren't really going to talk much about D2, but we do wish them, as a quick announcement, we do wish them the best in the Final Four and finale. We will say, we will be streaming the finale for D2, something new, something unique. We do
Yep.
look forward to that, and the experience was not short, too. All right, let's get to the Final Four preview, how they got here, and then we'll do predictions. Let's start with that man they call JT, Jesse Turner. Jay, what a run for him. Before we get into the matchups, what were you most impressed about, JT? Because this is the first tournament where everyone gets to try their new stuff, right? Their new testing tricks, all the stuff you learn in the offseason you bring here. What have you seen from JT? Because it's clear as day, JT Dry is starting to fade away. That style is, for him at least, is fading away, while others are adapting it, and we know that's not the best style.
I mean, yeah, we have seen that throughout this tournament, but I think it's also kind of been with JT. I've said this before on the podcast. JT makes a mistake in one game, and then the next game it kind of goes away, and then a new mistake pops up. So that's kind of been the style JT's going with so far, and so far it's worked for him. Makes the Final Four. Again, bit of an interesting path. I mentioned it before, had the close call against Mac Johnson in the first round, but then took care of business against Sean Ard, New Ard, as a lot of people coined it. Some people that was a pretty big one, and then takes out Yepes in the Sweet 16 in what was one of the strangest games ever. Yeah, that was unfortunately my worst match of the round for Sweet 16, which also none of that for the Elite Eight. I thought everything was pretty good, so I don't think we're going to be seeing that for the rest of the tournament. But overall, I think JT's definitely had one of the more difficult paths to get here. He's absolutely earned his spot here, even if some people don't agree with that. But I'm kind of, again, I've said it before, I'm looking forward to see what he brings to this Final Four, because this is his first one, even though he's a veteran of this league. So I know he's excited. I think a lot of other people are excited for him. So he's earned this moment, and I think he's going to do his best to try to make it to the final and even win this whole thing.
Yeah, he's definitely the veteran of the group, as I like to say, in terms of just age and life experience, right? The oldest guy remaining. But he's got the wisest years. That's what it's all about. Even though their age ain't a number, his wise years are going to definitely prevail. Now, I'm going to say this about JT. Great player, like we saw talking about the evolution. I think power play is going to be the key, G. Now, remember, for the fans at home, we haven't seen this all. It's the first time we're ever seeing this. MCSR, right? And the fans at home, G's going to explain what MCSR is compared to CSR. G, you want to explain that? Because we've been seeing that in D2, but this is the first time we're popping it out for a best of 11 in D1.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too much of a difference. There is one slight change. With MCSR, it's essentially you're only limited to not picking the card you last won on instead of any cards you won on in the series. So you're pretty much going to see some callbacks to specific cards that might have worked before, but you're not going to really see the same card played the entire series. So pretty much, for an example, like if someone won on 6 cards start in the first game of the series, get 2 more wins on. Excuse me, get 2 more wins after that.
Yep.
And then they could go back to 6 cards later on after they get a win on another card start. So it's going to be a bit different. Mainly is incorporating the best 11 since you kind of start running out of card starts to go on. So it will be interesting to see how people take advantage of that. So
Yeah, I'll give G a little. Yeah, I'll give G. He's choking on a little air. I'm interested to see. Take a sip, man. You're good. I'm interested to see how JT reacts to power play. Obviously, that was a controversial power play that he just did not understand the rule. We're going to fix that with him for sure. That's another thing we'll talk about another time. I need to see a little bit more on that element. I think he's ready, though, G. I think this is his biggest test, believe it or not, because the other tests were different, right? He knows Sanford. He played him last year. He knows the style. Yepes, we don't know what to expect from Yepes, right? He had Art last year. That was a rematch. And Pac, we all knew had the same style, but he showed he did it, right? He did the same style. He did the turn dry in that game, but he got away with it. Now he's going to go against a world champ. Could be a little different story. I'm interested to see what his tool belt is and what's his persona in this moment, right? We talk about this, G, all the time, right? Is the moment too big? Well, the problem is, G, there's only one guy that's been here. The rest of these guys don't know what to expect. You don't know what you don't know. Sometimes it's not a bad thing. Right? We've seen guys that don't know what they don't know. Remember Gold. Remember Sanford when they made their runs in T3. Gold, first timer, won the whole thing. Sanford lost the dark, really had no experience in T3, and just came out there and guns a blazing and made it back to a finale. Back to back in T3 and 4. You don't know what you don't know. I'm interested to see how they handle the moment and how they understand the moment too. It's one thing to handle it; they understand what the cards are being. They understand the emotions that go through a Final Four game because it's not easy. G, a best of 11. We've both been there. It's long. It feels like you're going from season to season. You're going from spring to summer, and at the end, you're going back to fall. And at the end of the series, it's winter. It's a 4 seasons game. It's not as big as the best of 13, but it's still a long out series. Sometimes those long out series can go over an hour. Let's see the endurance. We haven't seen much of that. Now,
Yep.
this next person, we're going to go kind of in order here. Let's go to Nam next. Now, Nam, here's what I'll say about Nam, right? He's one of these young puppies, right? I talk about this all the time. I think his style is very quick, right? It reminds a lot of people of Golden Aria. We talked about this. Very to the point where a little Ghost too. Just he does what Ghost is supposed to do. I think he does the quick Luda style, and everyone plays into it, right? I'm interested to see how when he gets a slower player, right? Because M we thought would be it. She did sometimes, but not a lot. What's his reaction going to be, right? Because we know we always talk about this. We talk about self-esteem. The three players here, excluding him, have high self-esteem or confidence. Let's face it. JT has literally said Japez is another player. Ashley is a world champion. She deflects the attention, but regardless of all that, you look at her table talk, there's none of that. Gets the job done, knows how to celebrate at the end, right? We all know what I can do, right? So the point is the self-esteem aspect. He's the lowest guy on the totem pole, not just because of life experience, but that's sometimes what he wants, right? He wants the low side. He doesn't want to be talked about. He kind of has the low con. It's a strategy. Talk to me about what Nam's got to do though for this match, and what are you expecting in the future? Because we never knew nothing about him. I've been high on this kid since I have him on Super. I know, G, you had some speculation, but now what? After seeing his body of work, what do you look at Nam in terms of a new Nam, 4 games, 4 series in, and 18 wins deep?
I mean, you talk about the lower confidence or like lower expectation strategy. That's something I usually like to dip my toe into as well. So I do understand the strategy there. So something I respect personally. But I think for Nam, really his path here has been a bit of a questionable one. I mean, he's on the eight line, right? So
Nine, nine,
nine
nine, line,
line,
nine.
my nine line. Apologies. But when you look at his path, you would think he'd have some good chances at getting like really good wins, but that hasn't really been the case for most of this tournament. I think Eli was the first solid win he got the entire time. Otherwise, he beat Ellison, he beat M, who was a
Yeah.
16. I mean, M's a bit of a question mark right now, but again, kind of the 16 over one. You kind of really don't get the credit for getting the big win there. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how upsets work. And then the win over Chomik, who is a promising rookie, but again, they are rookies. So I think with Eli, at least Nam was able to secure a solid win in this season. But I think this is his real chance to get something big. KT's number one overall was the number one seed for his region, number 3 overall, I believe. So
Correct.
yeah, it's a good opportunity here, and I think he's got to take advantage of it. If not, I think it's a solid start, but I think there's more he can get out of this season, and I think he'll have to do that next tournament. Whereas I feel like he wants to be able to get the best possible start he can and try to uh, get that big win that a lot of people look to start things off. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to this, I think Nam's going to have to bring out something different than what he's done before. I've seen what he's been playing. He likes that fast style, but besides that, I really have not seen a lot outside of it. So when you go up against someone who plays as tricky as KT, I think there's a lot of things that could go wrong if you stick to one strategy. So I think he's going to have to come up with a different method at some point to get around KT. Otherwise, I think this might end up in a disaster if he just sticks with the same plan and it doesn't work out.
He's a young kid, G, and sometimes it's the same thing as I'm going to say more towards Ashley because JT has so much life experience. Ashley still is, what, 19, 20. You don't know what you don't know, and we're going to find out, is he ready for the moment, right? He's already understood the assignment. We can see it. The games when he played with M, right, all that table talk, the games he played with Shamik, Eli, and to an even extent Ellison, he was playing. That hasn't been happening. There's no way. All right, so that we're gonna find out if he's for real tomorrow at 8 o'clock Thursday night. Now, this next guy, G, man, what is this guy can't do? Right, he's done everything in the league but get to a finale and win one. The only guy here with experience, he's such a cracked out character. I'm gonna let you
maybe
take
a
it, G.
little
What's your
maybe
thoughts
a
on
little
me?
too cracked out at times. But
Let's talk about the path, man. Let's talk about the path.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you're the one seed, it's kind of expected where your paths may be a little easier. You have earned that right to be the one seed, so KT was able to take full advantage of it. Had that bizarre round one game against Rodden. We don't like to talk about it. Sour Patch Kids have never been the same since then. But then had the round two against. I need to pull this up. I am blanking on
Acosta,
this.
Acosta,
Acosta, yes.
Acosta.
I don't know why I
Sneak
forgot
attack
that.
game.
Yeah, the sneak
Yep.
attack game where Acosta was just kind of like letting KT get away with a lot of stuff. And then had the game with Curtis. Was the first time in the tournament where I think at one point KT had his back against the wall at certain points, but was able to thrive there, was able to get out of it. Won three straight to get the win there. And then, not to mention also the Elite Eight match with Brad, as we said before, just kind of doing his usual game plan, getting through to the finish, and was able to secure that. So, I mean, I think with KT, I think he's got a great opportunity to make the final here. He's going up against Nam, who's someone he's really kind of just mentored in a way. So it's kind of more of a teacher versus the student, I guess. And the teacher's got a lot more tricks up their sleeve than they teach the student. So KT's are already going to bring a lot of things that Nam might not be ready for. So it's I think really for KT, it's just going to be do what you're thinking you're gonna do going into it, and bring your bag of tricks with you. Make sure that they're as concealed as possible going into it, and I think that's how he gets to the final here. But I think KT's in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, thank you, Gio. At the end of the day, man, do we really know what we're going to see from KT on the stream? You really don't know, right? There's three elements. Have the what character is going to pop out if we need it? There's the what the hell was that move? Wait a minute. Wait. There's too many. There's a lot of eye candy, right? That's really how I play, G. It's a lot of eye candy. That's all I'll say. And I'm looking forward to putting on a show tomorrow night. That's really all I'm going to say. I've been here three times now. This is my fourth attempt. A lot's gone right. In my honest opinion, G, these are the hardest Final Fours to get, though. March because it's so unpredictable, right? Super League for Super League. And then the last tournament, you just don't know who's playing or not, or who's going to show up. They're so hard. So I've been in the hardest moments. So far, I haven't been able to handle some unfortunate circumstances, somewhat to my own doing. Let's see if I can put the puzzle together, right? I've always been close to maybe two or three puzzle pieces away. Let's see if I can get those last pieces to stick. This last person, G, what can I say? World champion, absolutely incredible run. You know, I look at Ashley and I see three things. One, the wild card game is up there, right? It's only up there with myself, G. I haven't seen any better wild card management than myself. It's really good. It's probably one of the best in the league, and she's already a rookie. Second, I look at when I see a world champion, right? Very humble. Right, very rare to see that. We see Yepes. He's a world champion. Do we think he's humble? At times, yes. But you know he's going to have that South American swag, right? He's going to bring that flair. I haven't seen that yet. More humble, reserved. Now, the last thing I'm going to say though, she's been to a finale before off server, and she knows what the moment's like. Even though she's a rookie in the server and has said in the press conference the competition's better here, has the pedigree. Now, the one thing I noticed though from her game, right, and she said it too on record too, is sometimes when you just don't get the cards, she can fall into this trap of, well, what do I do? Right? Knows how to gamble and stick. Right? It's similar to Abia. Knows how to gamble and stick, but knows how to do it better than most on a draw opener. I'm interested to see if those draw openers actually work more because JT can easily go back into that trap and he can go back to his old ways quickly. So I think she's very dynamic. A lot of bags up the tricks as well. But at the same time, because she's played H, Monkey's a veteran, Captain is a rookie, Abian is a rookie, has been checkered boarding. This is her first true test of, okay, you have a master now, right? There's no more veterans. There's no more uh, sophomores left. There is a rookie beyond the other side. This is your first. This is a master, right? We're gonna see if the champion can take it to the master, which sounds crazy, but that's what we have to expect here with the craziness of the Final Four. Talk to me about Ashley G. I know you've been absolutely on her high horse. We all have. Incredible, best rookie in my opinion, right with Nam at P2. What are you looking forward to in this match and her outlook here?
I mean, yeah, I think her outlook's looking really good. I mean, I've said it before a million times. I think she came from the hardest pod to win. She swept H, who was looking really good at the end of last season in a sweep. game that might have been a bit marred a bit by card luck, but was able to take advantage of it fully, and then was able to outlast Captain in a low card 4-3 battle. One of the closest games in the tournament. And I think really you kind of look back at that match and wonder what could have changed if it maybe flipped the other way with Captain. Maybe you see Captain in the final four, but Ashley was able to take advantage of that, and then took care of a league veteran in Monkey. Really solid 5-2 performance. I think a lot of people were expecting the win there, and then again just takes advantage of all her tools in her kit and takes out Abion in a 5-3 win. If I'm not mistaken, it was 5-3, right?
Correct, 5-3.
Yeah,
Yep,
5-3.
5-3.
Just double checking, making sure we're factual here.
Always.
But Ashley taking out Abion 5-3. Abion, another rookie who was looking good, but Ashley just shows that she was the better rookie that day. And another thing also, even though we've had so much chaos, Ashley is the only double-digit seed in this Final Four. We have a 4, a 9, and a 1, but she is the lowest at a 10. Very debatable whether or not she should have been a 10. Me, personally, I don't think she should have, but she's made it to this point. She's not let her seed define her, and now she's going up against veteran Jessie Turner. I think really what Ashley needs to do to get the win here and make it to the final in her first attempt is just make sure she's bringing the same game plan she has in the past and making sure she keeps using that good wild ammo control. You said it before. It's one of the best in the league. I would agree. And honestly, I think if she just does that and gets ready for any of Turner's potential antics, I think she'll be good to go and set to possibly win this whole thing.
Definitely going to be interesting to see how an off-server world champ comes into this playground, in this Final Four playground. And if she can handle the moment, G, it's going to be tough to beat. Now, let's quickly move over to the Final Four predictions. And we also are going to do finale preview because at this point, we're not going to do a separate pod for a finale when the pod would make 20 minutes of action. So we're going to do a double dose here. Let's start with it. Coming in at that 18 and 11, the only guy I believe to have. Actually, no, wait a minute. Yeah, no, 18 and 11, right? 18 and 11. The most games on tape. That's JT, the Masters champion, right? From New York. He's got a lot of expectations, right? This new JT, this new evolved JT, bursting that world champ of Ashley, 18 and 8. The rookie battle, we talked about the rookie battle with Florida going on too, ironically. It's been a hotbed in recent months. And now they both will go clashing together. It's JT Ashley, the world champ versus the master. A lot of expectations for this match. It's going to be a good one. G, I'm going to give this one to you first, man, because I'm in this Final Four too. So I'm going to give you the first prediction on both, and I'll take the second roll. What do we got here for this one?
Ever since the matchup with you and Curtis wrapped up, I have had the exact same final in my head, and so far it's come true, and I am not going to defer to it, so I'm going to go with what I've been thinking. I haven't said it because some people think I'm a jinx, so I withhold it to myself, but this is what I've been thinking since essentially the Elite Eight started. I'm going to take Ashley in a 6-3 win to start things out. I think Ashley's just got a lot to work with at her disposal, and I think Turner will having a great run here. Unfortunately, this time I think I'm pretty confident that the run ends here. It's still a great run nonetheless. He'll be able to play in that third place game, but I am taking Ashley 6-3. And then for KT Nam, I'm going to do 1-up, but unfortunately still a result I think a decent amount of people might predict. I know Dom might be the people's favorite, but unfortunately, I think I'm going with the odds-on favorite in terms of KT. I think 6-4 final sounds about right. I think KT's just kind of done exactly what he's been doing since the last season so far this tournament, and I think really it's all coming together right now to accumulate into this final between Ashley and KT, between champion of a different server and the owner of this server. So. I think I'm looking forward to that if that ends up being the result. Do you want a championship prediction, or should we just leave it at that?
We'll leave it at that for now. We'll leave it at that. I'm going to make mine, then we'll get to the championship. I'm going Ashley too, but I have to go 6-5, G. I have to go with the computer. I agree with the computer. Now, here's why I agree with the computer. It's because of that one element I just said. If JT doesn't go into his old habits, he makes it a 6-5 game. I don't think he will. I think he's going to realize this is a big moment. He's had a lot of respect. Remember, I had the insider info on the press conference. He's had a lot of respect for these rookies. He's told me on a press conference and inside information, these rookies are coming to play. I've got to make sure I evolve. The problem is I'm worried about the power play. Right, and that wrinkle and the fact that we have new rules with the MCS, it's not a big change, I don't know if he's the best at adapting new rules just yet. I think he will adapt the new rules quick at some point in the year. I think because it's still fresh to him, and those new rules are still out there, I think this is where it costs him. Give me Ashley 6'5". Now, I can't make a prediction for myself. All I'm going to say is 2 out of these 4 people, G, Nam's the student, right? He's the student. And the student is going to have to bring 120%. That's all I'm going to say. Because if he brings 90 or if he brings the 100% one look, who knows, right? Who knows what's going to happen? But if he brings the 120%, it will go distance. That's all I'm going to say. I can't make a prediction. It's myself. But I've had the same feeling for a long time. This is going to be the match. It's going to be me and Ashley. Obviously, I can't make it. You'll make your prediction here. All I'm going to say is, I remember the first day when, I said, look, I saw this person as a world champion. It said 2022 Uno champion or whatever and you know the server I'm talking about. And I brought her
I
in. I'm
do,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, this is going to be crazy. I thought in my head. I thought about this in Jan. What if this would be like the Varigold situation? What if I literally bring in a diamond in the rough? Right, that was Varigold at the time, and they play the boss, and it worked. Varigold won. Right? Absolutely, fair play to him. But this would be a little different. This would be a diamond, no in the rough, just a straight diamond versus the boss. Right, that's a storyline that will live on for a long time. I think that's going to happen deep down. I think that really could happen, and if it does, man, so be it. That is going to be a challenge. It's going to be a long series. And in my opinion, if that matchups happens, if you like the wild card, just the wild card, not the +4 variety, just the wild card, you are in for a show. Because I don't think there's anyone better in the league. You know me. I love that card. There's no one better in the league as of right now than her. That's going to be an insane reason why I think that matchup will be hyped because of that one card. And this is the Wild Card Podcast. How fitting would it be if we have the boss who loves that card and knows how to play it to the science, and then someone who's come in off server and Ashley and can play it to a science as well? It'd be a very good match. It wouldn't be the Sanford experimentation show. It'd be a different type of science match. But Jay, I can't make a prediction because I'm still here, so it's on you. In the finale, if it's me and Ashley, what does the survey say?
I mean, if we do have that finale, we're really going to be putting the wild card in the wild card podcast, if I say so myself. But I think with most people, I think the odds-on favorite is KT. I know Ashley has a lot of backing in terms of her history. I think when it comes to that best of 13 final, it's going to be really interesting to see how both players adapt. I think KT might have the slight advantage with the best of 13 final, but I'm going to go back to, again, kind of backtracking a bit to earlier in this tournament. When Caesar went out, I had to jump on ship to another player who I was thinking would win the whole thing. And, I mean, after this point, I essentially... it was essentially down for me between Captain and Ashley, and I thought whoever won that matchup was going to go all the way after Caesar got eliminated, so ended up Ashley winning that, so I'm going to stick to what I thought then, and I'm going with Ashley winning the whole thing. For a scoreline, I'm going to go 7-5. I don't think it will go 13, I think it'll go 12, but that's not to discredit either player. I just think it's just going to be how it ends up with how the plays go, and it will be definitely one of those really great all-time classic series. So I personally think Ashley wins the whole thing from this Final Four, but I think all 4 of these players do have a shot. They've made it to this point, and I think now it's the time to get serious. And we know you've gotten serious. No MRE UNO profile picture. You got the bucket hat.
The sheriff.
Sheriff bucket hat.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I took that picture last year on vacation. That's on vacation. But no, it's time to get serious, Jay. Like I said, if that is indeed the finale, I don't think over under on mistakes might be 2, man. There's no mistakes. It's going to be a clean finale. But we're looking forward to seeing what the Final Four will be. It's been an incredible tournament, and thank you to the staff, man. Thank you. This is the last podcast episode for March Madness. We will have a pseudo recap at the end, right before we start the T2 preview, and a little bit of I guess you could say pseudo podcast too. We're not doing a T1 reveal show for Super League, so maybe we'll just give like a little power ranking list, something
Yeah.
like that for fun.
We're also
But
gonna
no,
I know this. We were talking about. We're also going to do our Band-Aid Super League predictions. We're going to go back to the predictions we made at the start of the
Right.
season and make any potential changes. Just as kind of like how in NASCAR Fantasy, where you have that garage spot. If one of your cars crashes out early, you can kind of swap it there. So going to be similar to that if you follow that. But look forward to that. In possibly the next episode might be in 2 episodes, not sure, but that will be coming soon.
Yeah, it we could get a bracket stealer, G, right? Maybe Ashley or well, I had Nam in my Super League. I don't think I had Ashley or Turner, so one of them could steal one, or maybe I did. I don't remember, but I have to look back. But yeah, if I know if Turner definitely wins, it's a stealer. If I win, I think everyone expects me to be there. So we'll see if the one or the other three. So I know you didn't have Nam. I'm not sure if you had Ashley. I know Turner no.
I
So
did not have Ashley, but that was because I didn't really know the background of Ashley. I didn't know the background of a ton of players. I know I didn't really watch Ashley's rookie testing, so that was the main reason I didn't have Ashley. But with the knowledge I have now, I would have 100% put her in. And spoiler alert, even if she doesn't win this, I am putting her in my Band-Aid Super League predictions. So there's a slight preview for that.
yeah, there's no doubt. You can't bet against the WC. We talked about with your pets. You can't bet against WCs. They're just different. But that's it for the Final Four predictions, previews, and all that. We're going to do a little bit of a bracket challenge plug here, and then I got one or two announcements for T2, and that's it. G, go for that bracket challenge plug one more time, buddy.
Again, sir, again, it's going to be in the description. Make sure you join. We got a lot of people coming in. Last I checked, I think we had 12 people in the group. Might be more. No, we're up to 14 now. So 14 players. Pretty big bracket. Pretty big group. So a lot of faces. Both players from D1 and D2. So it's going to be exciting. Again, links in the description. Password is DrinkMRE. Winner may get a prize depending on how many people we get. That'll be to the discretion of the commission, but we will figure that out as soon as we can. But yeah, again, make sure you join the bracket challenge. You got a little bit under probably around 13, 12 hours left to submit before brackets officially close, so make sure you get that in soon if you want to participate.
Thank you, G. And then for T2, real quick, to the fans at home, I know everyone's talking about we're probably going to do, like I said, one podcast, probably to recap everything. It'll be one episode. And then we'll have the Band-Aid Super League, of course, and then we'll do a second episode like we did with the March Madness one. But the only exception was we won't have anything crazy, maybe a little power ranking segment before, and then we'll get into the predictions with the bracket. And that's coming up pretty soon because we're expecting this T2 to somewhere start right after Easter. G, Easter is very early this year. It's March 31st. And because of that, we can start a little earlier. And we're looking sometime in the first week of April. We're going to get that T2 kicked off. We don't know the theme, right? The winner always gets the theme and fun
Yep,
prizes at the end
of
for
course.
top three. But of course, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to T2. A lot going on, and I don't have a date for D2, but I know that will be right after. I think we're going to take a week break or 2 week break, I believe, what G's the plan is.
Yeah.
So expect D2 to have a little bit more constant flow on this podcast now that we're ironing some details and getting the crux and the old kinks out of the system for sure. Well, G, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much. I think this has been a great first edition of the Wild Card. Nice 6-pack to start the year. And we should have a lot more episodes, man, for the rest of the year because from here on out, we do have a Super League reveal show from T2 all the way to T5. We can actually have an episode breaking that down, which is nice as a bonus episode every step of the way. A lot of upsets, a lot of things have happened, a lot of favorites have gone down, but yet it still remains the one seed of KT, the man they call from JT, upstate New Yorker, and two Florida phenoms, as I like to call them, world champion Ashley and the young man Nam. They all know what to do. They've all gotten here. But only thing remains is let's see what brings tomorrow and Friday night, 8 o'clock, under the lights in prime time. G will take the first stream. I'll take the second stream. Finale will be sometime over the weekend. For all of us here at MRE UNO and the Wildcard Podcast, check us out below in the links description and join that bracket challenge. You got till 11 o'clock tomorrow, realistically, before it closes. And have a great night, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening and making this production worthwhile. Good night.